In this episode of the Beamable Game Dev Podcast, I sit down with some of our team members and we discuss what's new in Beamable 0.17.0. Let's jump into the show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome. We're going to be talking about 0.17, and this is the biggest cast we've ever had on the Beamable Game Dev Podcast. I'm so excited. I'm going to introduce everybody by name, and then you guys can tell me what it is you do. We're going to start with Luke. How are you? And what do you do at Beamable?
Hi everyone. What do I do at Beamable? I'm a Unity developer responsible mostly for the front-end part. I'm creating all the tools you are using our solution, and that's the most part I spend time with.
We've also got Artur. How are you?
Hi, I'm pretty fine. Thank you very much. So, as Luke said, I'm Unity developer too. I'm working on front-end and back-end, same, mostly fixing bugs. Till version 0.17, I was working on new features, which we will talk in a sec. So yeah, that's from me.
All right. And a returning favorite, Chris. How are you? What do you do here at Beamable?
I'm well, thank you. I'm another Unity engineer. Been here for a little while. I give Artur bugs to solve. That's what I do. And outside of that, I work to make sure our team gets work done too. So on GitHub and all that fun stuff.
And Peter, welcome. What do you do at Beamable?
It will be no surprise that I'm also a Unity developer. I work mostly on the front-end part and also integrating the wonderful work of our backend developers on the side of Unity.
This is awesome. So I'm really excited to jump into this. We're going to kind of just hear from each one of you guys on what's your, what's the most exciting aspect of 0.17. And Luke, I'm going to let you kick it off.
Thank you. What's the most important, most exciting in 17? I was working a lot with listing and events schedules. Those content types were available in our solution even earlier, but adding possibility to schedule them, make them cycle, either repeatable by default on daily basis or set, for example, their instances for some specific days in future, was in very high demand by our customers. Why? Games, especially those living ones, we are trying to focus, we and our customers, of course. What are they all about? What drives them? There could be plenty of answers. One of them, in my opinion, is the players and communities that those players create, especially devoted ones. Community that with lightning speed consumes each new content that was created especially for them, embracing every moment spent in the game, slicing, dicing every step they take. So that's why it is so important to make players entertained. Are you entertained? You should be familiar with that. You should be all of you should be familiar with that quote.
Little gladiator there.
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite movies. One of movies that has great music by Hans Zimmer. We could change the topic a little bit, but maybe later. That's why recurring events are one of the most important mechanisms used by the game makers. And what do we do at Beamable? One of our main goals is to help game makers, let them create games with minimum possible effort. One of ways to achieve that is what? Is creating best possible tools for them. The other thing is that Unity engine that we are strongly integrating with gives us almost infinite, unlimited possibility to extend it, make it suitable for all our customer needs. I'm thinking about UI element system right now. It helps us to create every component from scratch, customize it, make it reusable, just to create whole, more or less complicated tools. It was no different this time. In addition to supporting cyclical events on the server side, which, by the way, are driven by simple cron strings, we have decided to create user-friendly front-end parts. We have created dedicated windows that allow game makers easily define schedule type they are interested in. Either it should be scheduled on daily basis, weekly basis. For example, we want events last from Monday to Wednesday, or only on Monday, only on Friday, etc., etc. Or maybe some specific dates in the future, even in next month, year, 2 years up front. The only thing that our customers need to do is to pick up some options like mode, define hour range, confirm selections, and publish content into some specific realm, which basically is still our basic workflow. It's still basic workflow for our solution, nothing more or less. So after publishing event or listing content, whole schedule structure is automatically translated into cron string on the backend side, and that's it. No one needs to learn how cron string works, which parts are responsible for days, months. Just few clicks and you are all set up. And I think that's a great feature, and I strongly encourage you just to try this one.
I'm entertained. I just want you to know.
Good to know.
I am entertained. So
Funny saying cron strings are simple, and I guess like they are, but also I don't feel like a lot of people even know what they are. Like you hear cron and it sounds like gibberish. Like what is that?
Yeah, they are pretty simple, but no one heard about them.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I believe it's mostly used when you are using Linux, maybe. It's like my first guess.
I get it from the Wikipedia yesterday. Using only Linux.
Oh, Linux.
Artur, let's send it over to you. What are you the most excited about with the latest update?
Since version 0.17, we got the workflow improvements. For example, we got the new admin console workflow, which now you can use command suggestion while typing the word. Because we got many console commands, then it's pretty easier for user to then spend time about typing, for example, help and checking all the commands and just get specific one he wanted to. So for him, we actually added the behavior from the default console like you got on your system. So in the second way, you can use the command history. You don't need to type again the same console command. You can just use up and down arrow keys to get the command history. So using tab instead make it to cycle through all the commands. So yeah, I think this is a pretty nice improvement, and hope you will use it, guys.
It is a nice improvement. Ever since you added that, I have wish we've had it before. I'm just tab completing every command I see.
Yeah, definitely.
As I'm hearing this, I'm going to even ask some questions because some of this stuff is out completely outside of my realm, right? Like I'm here with the camera making content. Like you guys are like behind the scenes making this thing go, and it sounds like a lot of the patches, a lot of the the updates come directly from clients, right? They're like, I wish I could do this, and then we try to implement it. And I assume there's also just a roadmap that we have of things that we want to continue. Chris, maybe you can kind of answer that for me. Like, is that kind of the way it works? Like, as we are working with clients and they're like, yo, I really
Yeah.
wish this was possible. And then we try to accommodate.
Yeah, so the feature that Luke was talking about, the schedule UI, yeah, that was a direct request from a customer. Well, it took us a little while to get it done, but we do that. And then we're also on the lookout for things that we can improve on our own. It's like the one that Artur is talking about is something that, like, we as developers, I don't know, Artur, like, you definitely pioneered that one, but like, we do have a roadmap, so you can see what it is that we're doing. Our changelogs are also public. I'm just going to put that out there. You can also just go see what we're working on ahead of schedule. That's on our GitHub. But yeah, it's lots of customer requests, and we do have some self-drive to like make our own lives better. Yeah,
it's super cool. What is it that you were the most excited about, Chris, with the latest update?
I'm excited about a lot. The one that I want to talk about, though, is our health checks on microservices. Microservices got a lot of stuff. There's a big one that I'm not gonna say, but health checks is really cool. So like when you have a microservice and you deploy it to the Beamable cloud, it used to be the case that, like, sure, we're gonna spin that up for you, and if it like goes down for some reason, like it stops working, or it stops being able to connect to Beamable's internal services, we wouldn't actually do anything. Like, we didn't know that it was broken, but now we do know that it's broken and we'll automatically fix it. And that extends to, like, if your code happens to make a mistake that breaks it, like, that's going to break the whole thing, and then we'll automatically replace the cloud instance for you. So it's a quality of life thing that I don't think a lot of people are going to see, but it's really great to call it out because it is a super huge win for the robustness of our microservices feature. Like, you should have confidence that when you deploy something, it's going to like be there forever on the cloud. And this helps with that. And I think even looking forward, like, to the next releases, I think we want to extend this. We've got some stuff in our own backlogs about making the health checks configurable so that, like, developers can say, you know what, I want my service, like, to have this specific code that runs when I'm checking if the service is actually in a good place or not. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Some people who worked on that also are not here on this call, but it's been a big effort to get that done. Several sprints. My cat is walking around on the table, so if you see the tail, that's what's going on. My cat keeps on hitting my laptop monitor, so it's the struggle.
I love it. That's great. That's great. Peter, we're gonna jump over to you. Like, what was the most exciting thing for you working on this update?
In this update, it is still in the preview, but I and also Artur and Chris, I believe mostly the three of us, were working on putting the storage functionality to the users, and they can use it. They cannot deploy it yet, but I think it has this thing that I like in our product, that creating and connecting these new storages to microservices feels just like a native part of Unity. So you just open microservices window, you decide, okay, I want to create to storage, I want to connect this storage to this microservice. Then you open your editor of choice, and you even get auto completion for the storage you connected to, not the all of them. So you know beforehand that if you are doing something wrong, the I don't know, the JetBrains Rider or Visual Studio will tell you before. So that's great, and the feel of it is wonderful. Also, like, we even make it possible. So, okay, you create storage. It's really easy to get to it. We've created some interface extensions. So I think that users, once they can deploy it, they're going to love it. So even if I discussed this feature with Chris, we were already talking about the possibilities. So okay, maybe if you create a card game, you can create something like user decks that they can share using this storage. So yeah, there are many possibilities, and I'm quite excited to see what developers who are going to use it are gonna create with it. So I think that's the biggest one.
Well, this is great. So moving on, I want to know about the final stretch of 1.7 because I get to experience it in Slack where Chris is like, "Yo, this thing's about to go." And then, "Yo, there's a lot of bugs that we or there's a major bug or there's a lot of bugs or okay, we're going to have to wait a week or can Chris, you can kind of kick it off, and then everybody can kind of just riff off of it. But what is that final stretch like?
Yeah, we're a software company. At the end of the day, we're a lot of software engineers. We tend to introduce bugs. Me more than most. I don't know. So anytime we go to release code, we want to make sure that like it's as stable as we would hope it to be. So yeah, before we do a release, we get together in a Discord chat room and we have this checklist and we all go through and validate that like the basic stuff still works. Like, does it turn on? Are there any errors? And there are many more. I think there's like 200 items in the checklist for now. And we split that up and we each developer gets assigned a version of Unity. So we support Unity 2018, 19, and 2020 on light modes and dark mode. So that's 6 base platforms, but then we also need to check it on Mac, check it on Windows. So that multiplies it out again. So there's plenty of testing to be done. And just to finish this, every time we do that process, we generate a metric boatload of bugs and polished things that we like. Plus, like you get people working, like doing the QA that like I spent all my time over here in this part of the application, and now I'm going off to test this other guy's code. And I'm like, man, I really wish this text looked different, or I really wish this button behaved this different way. So you get a lot of like last minute polish things too. We call that the QA war because it is stressful. And then we fix them.
Artur, is there anything you'd like to add to that? I know Chris has mentioned on this show that he just likes to send bugs your way.
It's not a mistake why we are called the QA war, because we are totally fighting with these bugs, trying to fix them as soon as possible to release the new versions to our users. So yeah, I think this is pretty awesome and beauty in Beamable with that. You are working on new features, then trying to publish it, but you see, hey, you got many bugs. You need to fix it. Then we are fixing then we are fixing it and publishing it. This is pretty awesome to see every new version on the published stage.
Well, and there's the other side of it too. That's like there's the pressure from the clients that are like chomping at the bit for the new feature, right? Like they want to add this new feature, or it's maybe it's even a potential blocker or something, and they're like, "Yo, when are we getting this?" And it's like there's an element of pressure there. Luke, do you have anything to add to the final stretch?
I would like to add just also a few things about QA war that Artur and Chris mentioned. That's a really great approach because I think the most developer, when he works on some part of his code, is almost sure that his code is bugless. Yeah, I've worked about something 2 weeks. I've clicked every place in my window. Hey, I haven't found any bugs, and later on I've got 100 points on the list. Yeah, so that's the good approach that we are working together. We are trying to look at the things, at the features from the different perspective. Yeah, you've asked about the deadlines. Let's say from the clients, we are somewhere between between hammer and anvil, yeah. So I don't know what to say about that. We are doing our best just to deploy the code with minimum amount of bugs. We are trying to hotfix them when someone finds the next ones, and so on. We are simply trying to do the best from our side.
I love it.
Yeah.
Peter, do you got anything to add to the hammer and anvil?
Yeah, about the QA war as well. It kind of just being sure that your code works is reminding me of this joke about QA that programmer creates a bar, the tester goes there, orders one beer, orders 200 beers, order lizard, order beer with lizard. Okay, everything passes. Then the real customer comes by this bar and asks where the toilet is, and whole bar bursts into flames. So,
Yeah, it's real.
yeah, there is something like that. But one on the bright side of it, besides this QA war, on the end, just before the release, we also have the automated test. So at least some of the things that can go wrong early, and it's great. So okay, it works on my machine. I deploy the code, and after, I don't know, 10 minutes, I see on GitHub that okay, something is wrong. I can jump into it, and it's a great thing also.
Chris, it looked like you were getting ready to say something, and I didn't mean to cut you off. But
no, Peter came to the rescue at the end. I wanted to at least slide in that, like, we do some stuff. Like we do have some automated testing.
Gotcha.
And the thing about deadlines too is sometimes customers will come and require something to be done soon. So we can release stuff sooner. I think the schedule stuff that Luke was talking about at the beginning, we actually did sneakily release that like a while ago, like almost, I think 3 weeks ago, right, Luke? Like we put out like a preview version of it in a release candidate build. So like people could get access to it. And then we were behind the scenes, like getting it ready for the full production release.
This has been great. I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat about this. And this is going to be a reoccurring thing with each new update. We're gonna gather members of the team, and we're gonna discuss what went on, what are some of the great new features, and have some laughs along the way. So as Luke said earlier, I hope you're entertained, right? and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Beamable Game Dev Podcast. If you'd like to discuss all things game dev, head on over to our Discord, beamable.com/Discord. And if you'd like to try Beamable for free, head on over to beamable.com.